Right, buddy, going to be talking about Marcus Rashford to Manchester United. There's been quite a few articles released from the Telegraph, from the BBC, from Daily Mail. We'll be going through all what has been said and talking about, really, Rashford has kind of said that he wants to stay at Manchester United. Now, it came up from Chris Wheeler first, suggesting that Marcus Rashford is available and is ready to stay at Manchester United and fight for his place. He's 100% committed to Manchester United and has no issues with Ruben Amorim at this current moment. He's doing extra training behind the scenes at Carrington with a private coach, and ultimately he wants to come back to Manchester United and play. Now, he hasn't been in the squad since the 12th of December, which is over a month ago now. He's been frozen out. He's been on the bench for the game against Newcastle. Didn't even put him on the pitch. He talked about after the game against Brighton on Sunday that he doesn't want to put Marcus in the team because he doesn't feel like he's not going to put players that are not good enough. It's really damning what's going on with Rashford at the situation now. We see what if Rashford will be in training. He is training with the group. We'll see if he's in full team training on Wednesday ahead of the Europa League, because a lot of the media get into be able to see the training clips then. But listen, on the Rashford situation, he wants to fight for his place at Manchester United. Personally, for me, I think that's just a response to he can't get anywhere out of Manchester United. Dortmund, they've dropped their interest in him. AC Milan, they're going to sign Kyle Walker. Barcelona, I mean, there's been issues over wages there. There's not really clubs interested in it. And I think Rashford's kind of gone, there's not many options. I'm just going to get my head down and work because, listen, the wages is the biggest issue. He's been linked with a number of European clubs. And the likelihood that he will leave on loan is very unlikely at the moment. It's not known how often Rashford has trained with the first team since his exile from Amorim's matchday squad, but we'll have to wait and see. So listen, let's see what happens on that Rashford situation. For me personally, listen, there's going to be clubs. His agent is probably trying to do everything he can to get at Manchester United. He said he knew what he was doing in that interview, arranging it to saying he was ready for a new challenge. That was kind of him getting himself out there. And obviously, that move hasn't materialised, which is unfortunate probably for Rashford. But listen, based on that, I think I've seen a lot of the Manchester United fans saying, put him in the under-21s. He shouldn't be anywhere near Manchester United. You have to look at it from an Ineos perspective. This is a bit of the club and the player look bad in this situation. Rashford has expressed his desire to leave. Not happening, mate. United can't get him out of the club, so they have to keep him. It's kind of, if he doesn't have any issue with Ruben Amorim, we'll see then after, because now it'd be pretty embarrassing because Amorim's kind of exiled him, not really put him in any games, and now he'll be back playing for Manchester United. It is a very intriguing scenario and an intriguing situation. For me personally, I like Rashford. I think he's a decent player, but the fact that he said he wants to leave, I think the focus should be getting him out. Now, if he does stay, you're going to have to look at the reality of putting him in the team and getting him back on the market, because listen, we've already lost Anthony. We could be losing Garnacho. Rashford as well, the jury's still out, so we'll have to wait and see what happens. I think personally, what I would do, Anthony's already gone. Garnacho looks like he's going. It's probably going to be a situation where Manchester United do keep Rashford because there's just no suitors for him. And we're not going to replace him in January, and that's the issue. Now, Rashford doesn't fit the system. I'm sure in the next press conference, Amorim will be asked about Rashford, and I'll bring you all the quotes from that. I think it's tomorrow, the press, so we'll see what happens there. But as I said, it just seems desperate. Listen, Rashford was always doing the training. I've seen clips on social media about Rashford doing these sort of trainings in pitches in Manchester, and he's been at the games at Old Trafford. So he's not like disconnected from the team. He's just not getting picked from the squad. And when a big player like Marcus Rashford, 365 grand a week, being at the academy all his life, playing for Manchester United, is not getting picked, and especially in the form that if United were flying and we were winning game after game, there'd be no kind of thing, oh, where is Marcus Rashford? The fact that we're losing game, we're not in a vein of form. People are saying, bring Rashford in, he'll be an extra body, he can show something. But the thing is, you have to look at Rashford himself that doesn't want to be at Manchester United. So it'll be interesting to see if he can turn this around. For me personally, I don't think you can. I think coming at this moment at Manchester United in the state that we're in, kind of slagging off the club, really saying that he doesn't want to be here, he'd rather be somewhere else. Now, no club have obviously taken him up on the deal. I think the wages is the biggest issue, being on 365 or 350 grand a week. Not many clubs can even afford that sort of wage. And there's not many clubs interested in him, to fact. So AC Milan have dropped out, Dortmund have dropped out. And listen, if Rashford was 100% committed, which I don't think he is, I just don't think you'd be doing these sort of antics. I don't think he would have been doing that interview. I think it's just come to a reaction. There's always been sort of a breakdown in communication with Rashford and his kind of team and Manchester United direct sort of things. It's always been that sort of, as I said, lack of communication. So listen, I'm intrigued to see what happens. Personally, I don't think Rashford should be staying. The fact that he's expressed his desire to stay, it just comes to me as desperate because there's no other clubs interested in signing him. His agent is trying to do everything he can to get him out of the door. Just looks like a really poor situation for Manchester United. Again, if we do replace Rashford, we're going to need to bring someone in. Yes, he wasn't in the squad, but he was still an attacker, and we are very limited in that department. So yeah, we just let it see what happens. But that was the latest. It was coming in from a lot, and it was kind of all at the same time. So someone's obviously told them about this Rashford situation. It was like Rashford wants to stay. It come from Chris Wheeler, it come from the Telegraph, James Ducker, came from Simon Stone, BBC News, and he's quite reliable. He only says things that are really reliable and that he's got from good sources. So listen, I'm intrigued by the fact of Rashford. It's going to be sad if he does leave, but I think the way that it's been dragging on so long now, the guy hasn't been. I think it kind of tells you everything about the current Rashford situation at Manchester United. It's quite sour, it's quite toxic. And I think the fact that he hasn't really been included in the squad shows Ruben Amorim's clear intention to get him at Manchester United. But listen, that's been my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section below. Do you agree? Would you send Rashford on loan? Would you permanent deal, or would you keep him after what's been said? And especially with Garnacho potentially going to Chelsea and he's already left the club, we are pretty short in that attacking department. I'm sure many fans at this current moment wouldn't mind keeping Rashford at Manchester United. But let me know your thoughts. Leave a like, comment, subscribe if you are new, and let's see what happens. We'll bring you up to date with anything that does happen, any incomings, any outgoings. And yeah, thank you for watching. Hope you did enjoy. Peace.